is spring morning breeze. Mm-hmm. Spring morning breeze. As you can imagine, her personal essence is very light and she's an early riser, and extreme heat destroys her. Well, spring morning breeze is a concept. Whenever I work with international clients, I also try and be very careful with language, because certain languages have certain concepts that don't exist in other languages. So searching for one's personal essence has to be done, whenever possible, in the person's native language, because that person will have certain concepts that I might not have in my own native language. Sometimes I've even helped clients identify a personal essence whose concept had no word to define it in their language. I will give you an example. I once had a man looking for his personal essence, and he found it. His personal essence was the following concept. You know the feeling one gets when, in extreme cold conditions, that person enters a very warm room? You know that feeling of warmth that you feel when you are extremely cold and you approach a fire or a fireplace? Well, that feeling was this man's personal essence. I remember we were working on that concept in Spanish, and there's no word to define that concept in Spanish. Thawing could be maybe in English, but there's no word in Spanish. So this man's personal essence was a concept that he clearly knew and clearly understood, even if he couldn't name. Funny, right? Well, that's what happens with personal essence. We're talking about concepts. We're talking about ideas, of certain concepts that reflect what we are. That's why when we talk about personal essence, we're not looking for the who am I, but for the what am I? What is my essence? And when we talk about a person's personal essence, we don't use any articles to define it. My essence is light, therefore I am light. That woman was lifesaver, not a lifesaver, is the concept as such. So, will you try and look for your own personal essence? You can always contact me. I will try and help you. You can try and define your own personal essence. I challenge you to try. I encourage you to try, because once you find it, believe me, your life completely changes. If you get onto my YouTube channel, you'll find several short videos with examples of different personal essences that might give you ideas and might help you understand your own personal essence a bit better. It's on YouTube under Jessica J. Lockhart. Please visit it and get some more information on personal essences. And now, I told you that I want people to send me questions so I can answer them here and give you tips and ideas on how to deal with your own lives from a humanological point of view. All those questions will be part of a section that I hope, will have every 2 weeks on each conversation with Jessica, and that will hopefully give you ideas and tools that you can all use. So whenever answering a question for someone else, you might get ideas that might help you too. So if there is an issue, if there is something that's bothering you, send me your questions. I don't need to mention your name. And if you want to be anonymous, you can do that too. Just email me your question so I can answer it here on Conversations with Jessica. Will you do that? Okay, I just uploaded Eric Satie. I really wanted you to listen to this tune, so I'm just going to put a little bit of the music on so you can hear it and enjoy it. while I prepare the closing comments for today's conversations with Jessica. There we go. Satie, Eric Satie. Okay, so that was Gymnopédie by Eric Satie. I hope this music inspired you. Well, it looks like it really did because we have a question. Yay! Thank you. I love getting questions. Okay. So if I get the question right, the question says, can you tell me what my personal essence is through my hobbies? Or by knowing my hobbies, I suppose the question is. Well, your hobbies can somehow give us a little information about your personal essence. It could somehow help us verify your essence. And that was exactly what I was going to be talking about right now. What I was going to be talking about was how to confirm one's personal essence. Once you discover what your personal essence is, your humanologist will help you confirm it. You will make sure you discovered the right concept, and that is your personal essence. So your hobbies would be one way of confirming that you discovered your correct personal essence. Because imagine if I am light, as I am, I would never have personal hobbies that would go against my personal essence. I would need to have some very, very fast hobbies or something that doesn't make me go slowly. Let me tell you a little anecdote about this. There's this game on Facebook where people have to read. They measure their reading speeds, and they say if you read, I don't know how many words a minute, you're okay. If you read, I don't know what other number of words a minute, you are fast, etc., etc. Well, I read the fastest speed on the game. I couldn't read any slower. I mean, I reached maximum speed. And reading is my number one hobby. Of course, I read extremely fast. So that also confirms that I do everything fast. Discovering one's personal essence is a complex procedure. It usually takes between 2 to 3 hours of intensive work. It can be done in 1 or 2 sessions. As an anecdote, I will also tell you that it took me 3 sessions to help a lady discover her personal essence. But the day she discovered what her personal essence is, we both understood why it taken her so long. Do you know what her personal essence was? Dun, 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 dun. Northern Lights. Ha! What is one of the main characteristics of Northern Lights? They're very hard to see. They're very hard to discover. They're almost impossible to find. Well, this lady's personal essence was Northern Lights. And in fact, she really, really was very much like Northern Lights, or she really is. So if you would like to know what your personal essence is and you can't find it on your own, do ask me for names of other humanologists so they can help you find your personal essence. It's, as I said, usually between 2 and 3 hours of very intensive work, very intense work. So try and find it on your own. I encourage you all to try. It's a very rewarding exercise, and it's never a waste of time because you always get to know yourselves a little bit better. 2 weeks from now, we will have our next episode of Conversations with Jessica. We'll be talking about beliefs, a very interesting topic. Do send me your questions so I can answer them next in the 2 coming weeks in our next episode of Conversations with Jessica. This is Jessica Lockhart. This is Conversations with Jessica, talking about humanology, understanding human beings. It was a great pleasure being here with you all. No one answered me on my chat, so I don't know if it's working or not. Well, if it's not working, we'll try and have it fixed by next program, by next show. And now I say goodbye. See you or hear you 2 weeks from now. Thank you. Bye.
I can do anything. I can reach any goal today. I can do what I want. I can be what I want to be.
Coach on Fire Radio.